Oh no, what a shame. What a shame. Here I was preparing a special episode of the show to mark Meghan Markle's 45th birthday. I've got Link Lauren, one of Meghan Markle's biggest supporters in the United States of America, and we were just going to celebrate how this lady has turned 45. And Link, it's just such bad news because all of a sudden, this birthday, this 45th birthday, has turned into an absolute disaster for Meghan Markle with two pieces of news that could destroy her. First, she's been caught ripping off her social media videos again. Second, massive development in this Prince Harry court case that could actually end up costing Harry and Meghan millions and millions of pounds. So, Link, unfortunately, you're going to have to save all of those positive words, okay? Because while it might be her birthday, we have to follow the news, Link. It's what we do.
Yes,
so you remember yesterday, Meghan posted this truly bizarre Instagram story. Well, super sleuth Nancy Sidley is onto her, revealing this was a big fat copy of the online trad wife Nara Smith, who had posted an almost identical video of wildflowers. And as Sidley pointed out, right on cue, Meghan Markle dropped what she described as the Temu version. And honestly, don't take my word for it. Don't take Nancy's word for it. Just watch Nara's near identical video. Link, I mean, this is just undeniable, right? First, it was Martha Stewart. Then it was Gwyneth Paltrow. Then it was Pamela Anderson. Now she's copying the social media trad wife Nara Smith. It may be her 45th birthday, Link, but I'm sorry, this is a major scandal. The woman doesn't have an original thought in her brain. If you value the whole truth and nothing but the truth on these royal stories, make sure you subscribe to Outspoken right now. It allows me to work outside of the MSM and the Royal Rota.
I know, and it's great to be back with you, Dan. It's always a pleasure to see you. I think you should win a Nobel Peace Prize for this journalism, this investigative journalism we're doing. Hello, we don't win awards for this. There's no justice in the world. But I agree with you.
She wants to be this... Sidley.
Yeah, shout out to Nancy Sidley. But it's interesting. She's tried to be this Martha Stewart character for years, but I've said Martha Stewart has authenticity, right? Martha Stewart has street cred. She did time in prison. I've always joked, Martha Stewart is blacker than Meghan Markle. I really think she has more street cred. And Meghan Markle, she's tried to be Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't think Gwyneth Paltrow wants anything to do with her. But basically, when you're a sociopath, in my opinion, you're just an amalgamation and a reflection of everyone around you, right? She became what she thought Harry wanted, and she really tried to cosplay Princess Diana and win over Prince Harry. And now she's trying to act like she's a chef and she's this Oprah, Martha Stewart, Mother Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow figure. None of it is really working. And I have a bone to pick with Meghan Markle today. So I ordered her blackberry spread last week when she released it because, I try all of her products. I paid for the 2-day shipping, the 2-day air. They said it had shipped. When I go to UPS, there's not even a label that's been created. It has not shipped yet, but as ever is telling me it has shipped. So maybe Meghan Markle has pulled it from the assembly line, but I was really planning on trying it by tomorrow. But maybe she's decided she doesn't want me to have it.
You don't want to taste that. I mean, who knows what's going to end up in that? Maybe a little bit of saliva.
I said yesterday, I need like presidents and like Vladimir Putin. They have people who test their food before to make sure it's not poison. Like I need an intern or an assistant to try the blackberry spread before me because I'm way too scared to try it, especially now. Why hasn't it shipped? Does it exist? I'm starting to wonder if it even exists. Why hasn't it gone out yet?
Link, isn't it a bit sad though, right? That here's a woman turning 45 years old, an age where actually
allegedly
you should be contented in life. Well, look, Link, I've actually checked that out. Samantha, her sister, insists that is her real age. And let's just say Samantha, okay, my friend, is no fan of her younger sister. But I know the theories on that will continue to run wild, and I'm here for it. But Link, don't you think there's something quite sad about the fact 45 years old? That is, I'm 43. You should be very content at that age, very happy about where you're at with life, very confident in your friendship groups and your career. And Meghan had the opportunity for all of that. And actually, what we're seeing today is just a trickle. No one really wants to acknowledge this. No one really wants to celebrate her. She's probably going to end up having to celebrate herself. And in some ways, Link, do you feel anything sad about it? Or is it just like, I'm sorry, this is karma, bitch?
Well, yeah, it definitely is karma. What's interesting, I sort of look at her as almost like an Amber Heard or some of these other folks, and I don't know how you feel about that. Maybe there's something controversial there. But I feel like there are some women who they get it all and then they
started, Link, on that.
Okay, I won't get you started. Okay, let me reverse, rewind. Okay. So Meghan Markle, to me, I feel like she's her own self-saboteur. Like she self-sabotages everything. And I've said for the past few weeks, she might be the first person to go rags to riches and then back to rags that quickly because she tells this rags to riches story. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. Her father was pretty successful, but she paints this narrative that she grew up over a garage in a bad neighborhood with her mom, and they used to play down in the driveway, and she's this self-made woman. Then she marries Prince Harry, who's the most eligible bachelor on earth. And now I think she's going to go back to rags. Like you went rags to riches. You got the Cinderella fairy tale royal wedding. People were, throwing flower petals in the street, and you were in a horse-drawn carriage, and you blew it. That's what's so sad to me. Like you could have just sat over there in London eating crumpets and scones and showing up to ribbon cuttings. It's not like you even had to do that many events. I think she did the least royal engagements of almost any member of the entire family, but even that wasn't enough for her. And so now she's selling jams, jellies, dog biscuits, wickless candles, as we all know. And so it's just really sad to me to see this woman go from having it all to crashing and burning.
What was meant to be a milestone celebration for Meghan Markle's 45th birthday has collapsed into a complete public relations nightmare. From social media copycat accusations to a crushing £34 million court bill, the Sussexes are facing heat on multiple fronts. First, internet sleuths exposed Meghan for dropping a video almost identical to viral trad wife influencer Nara Smith. But far worse than social media drama is a bombshell legal revelation out of London that could leave Prince Harry facing tens of millions in personal liability. New court documents reveal Prince Harry's legal team knew their key witness had pulled out 2 whole years before trial, yet pushed forward anyway. Today, we break down the copycat controversy, the £34 million court demand, and why commentators claim Harry and Meghan are running out of options. As Meghan marked her 45th birthday, online sleuths pointed out striking similarities between her latest Instagram video and content from viral lifestyle creator Nara Smith. From flower arrangements to soft-spoken voiceovers, critics claim Meghan continues to copy existing viral trends, moving from Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow to current TikTok creators. Commentator Link Lauren revealed he ordered Meghan's American Riviera Orchard blackberry spread, only to face shipping delays and missing tracking info, raising ongoing questions about the brand's production and supply chain execution.
And Link, she's about to have a whole lot less cash. That's how it is looking after an astonishing new development in this court case that I have been following very, very closely between Prince Harry and some of his celebrity chums like Elton John and Sadie Frost and the Daily Mail, where I used to work, actually, Link. And he had this absolute thrashing, but it's got a whole lot worse today. And this is slightly complicated, but I'll try and simplify it as much as possible. But basically, this whole court case was reliant on a man called Gavin Burrows, truly dodgy bloke who had previously claimed that he was responsible for a whole load of dark arts in British journalism. And then he turned his back on that. And as a result, the case effectively collapsed because so much of the evidence was completely reliant on the idea that he was telling the truth. But what has emerged today is that the claimants, and that includes Prince Harry, Link, actually knew that this dude had withdrawn his evidence about 2 years before this ever got to court. Now, this has been revealed by Michael Gillard on the Upsetter Substack, and he has actually written with a hilarious headline with it called Last of the Fohicans, and that's because one of Harry's lawyers, there he is, had this bizarre mohawk and used to show off every time he entered court. But Tom Sykes of the Royalist Substack has been all across this today. And you can see there, all caps, the first 2 words of the headline, because this is major. Holy smoke. Harry's team knew Burrows was a bust. They sued anyway. It could cost millions. And he says the single document produced by Michael Gillard in the aftermath of Harry and friends' catastrophic defeat by the Mail changes everything. Now, remember, this dude, Gavin Burrows, just went on 60 Minutes Australia and described this entire court case as the biggest scam in legal history. And now we have so many more details of this scam. Here's Tom Sykes' explanation of it. So the claimant's solicitors, remember that is Harry, he is one of the claimants, admit that he and his merry band of litigants knew full well that Gavin Burrows, who we just saw there, had pulled his cooperation before they ever launched proceedings. The letter sent to Mr. Justice Nicklin on January the 26th this year, as the child was getting underway, states that the claimants were first aware Burrows had probably withdrawn cooperation and thereby indicated he was unwilling to attend trial on their behalf in March 2022. That was the month in which Burrows turned up at the South London home of Graham Johnson, the convicted phone hacker turned lead researcher for the claim, and according to the letter, assaulted and threatened Mr. Johnson in front of his family at the latter's home, and published a series of tweets and became uncommunicative. Burrows himself described the incident in court, giving evidence by video link from a lawyer's office somewhere in Asia. He said he was too scared to attend in person, flanked by a solicitor who looked like a debt collector wearing shorts, swinging on his chair and mocking the claimant's lead barrister David Sherburne with a memorable jibe, "You ain't got nothing." 4 days after the Karate Kid flavoured punch-up with Johnson on March 22nd, 2022, the lawyers, and this is Harry's lawyers, and remember this is Harry's big dragon-slaying moment, launched their claim anyway. Yet the first the wider world knew of Burrows disavowing his evidence was 2025, when a written submission from him disowning his original statement surfaced. What we know now is that the claimants themselves clocked his withdrawal 3 years earlier. And by the solicitor's own account, they had conclusive evidence of his withdrawal of cooperation by March 2023, when the male side served a witness statement from Burrows denying the matters set out in the claim. That is to say, conclusive proof their star witness had gone fully 2 years before trial, and still they pressed on. Now, a spokesperson for Prince Harry did not respond to the Royalist request for comment today, including on the question of whether he intends to appeal, which brings us to the money. And here Gillard's reporting is just as remarkable. He reveals that the claimants applied for their after-the-event insurance, £250,000 of cover each from Temple Legal Protection, on March the 21st, 2022, 3 days after the big punch-up, or the alleged punch-up. The letters before action went out the following day. The obvious question, as the upsetter puts it with restrained understatement, it is hard to see how the full facts were not pertinent to the underwriting decision. Can one really imagine Temple's underwriters signing off on the claim had they been told that the principal witness had just assaulted the lead researcher and stopped returning the calls? The cover letter was later increased by £1 million per claimant, but with the Mail now claiming £34.8 million in cost, the policy is more than £16 million short, even if it pays out in full. And if Temple's lawyers conclude that material facts were withheld at the point of underwriting, the policy may not pay out at all. If Temple behaves like any other insurance company on earth, extensive inquiries into voiding it will already be underway, in which case the claimants, and one suspects their advisors, are in serious, serious trouble. And so, Link, what we're now looking at here is the possibility that it might not just be £16 million. It might be £34.8 million for Prince Harry, right? And remember, Harry has already said, "Oh, Doreen Lawrence, you're not going to have to pay a thing, because I dragged you into this. Your son was murdered, and I dragged you into this case and have ruined your reputation." So she ain't paying. And Elton John has said, "Well, I'm not an ATM, Harry." I mean, look, this could basically, Link, if it all goes wrong, this could burn through the Princess Diana inheritance, the Queen Mother inheritance. And how do you think Meghan feels about that on her 45th birthday today, Link?
Well, we might have to start a GoFundMe. She might need a SNAP EBT card in California. Everyone else in our country is scamming SNAP and EBT. Why not Meghan Markle? But you guys had different laws over there than we do in the States. Yes. I wish we had those kind of laws because they would deter these frivolous lawsuits. And I think Harry and Meghan Markle are just very litigious people. All they know is to sue. They're very sue happy. They love filing lawsuits. I think it makes them feel self-important having a team of lawyers around and publicists and communications people, even though they get turned over and over like a tuna sandwich. But Meghan Markle, I'm just not shocked by this whatsoever because they want to feel important. But the whole premise of this lawsuit from the beginning always confounded and confused me for a few reasons. Number one, the whole premise was that this was about privacy, right? We want privacy. Our privacy was breached, and you guys went to these extreme measures to get our information and publish it. These people, they did a sit-down interview with Oprah. They've done multiple reality shows. Harry did Spare, where he wrote about his Todger and what kind of cream he uses. So these folks who say they want privacy, basically, I'm just not buying it. And that was the whole premise of the lawsuit, is you guys invaded our privacy. And then number two, When I heard and saw that story that Elton John was not going to help them with the bill, I said, I could have told you that. Have you seen The White Lotus? These gays are trying to kill me, okay? You cannot trust these gays. Anytime a gay man's like, I got you, I'll pick up the tab on the other side, just send me the bill after the trip, I'll Venmo you. You are never seeing that money ever again, okay? So I could have told you not to trust this rich gay man who said he was going to have your back in the end. And thank God Elton John is drawing a line in the sand. I wish King Charles would draw a line in the sand again. He seems to be warming back up to Harry. And I feel like insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Like, good luck letting Harry back into Buckingham Palace, okay? I hear the folks over there, they're in revolt. They don't want to work and serve Prince Harry, and I don't blame them. But yeah, no, this whole lawsuit was a mess from the beginning, but hopefully she can sell her wickless candles, her flower sprinkles, and if they ever send me my blackberry jam that I paid for, maybe she can keep the lights on in the Montecito mansion,
Yeah.
Dan.
She's going to be having to sell a hell of a lot of that blackberry spread. The thing that I think is so shocking here, Link, is that, I mean, of course you're completely right. Like, it was nuts that he was deciding to go through with a privacy case at the exact moment he was invading the privacy, not just of himself, by the way, but of his family. I mean, the timing was absolutely insane. But Link, it was the people who he was working with. I mean, it's like, you know, you get down with the pigs, you get fleas, or is it dogs? Right. You know the saying. You know the saying.
Whatever it is.
Whatever that saying is, I mucked that one up, didn't I? But you know what I mean, because I have known, Link, how bad these people are, because, I mean, it's quite dark, but these people tried to destroy me. This Byline Investigates crowd, they are criminals, right? They are criminals, but not just are they convicted criminals, phone hackers, investigators, all of that, that they are criminal liars. They are proven liars over many, many years. And Lady Colin Campbell, my friend Lady C, she actually put this very well. And I just want to read you out a little bit of what she posted, Link. Justice demands, this is what Lady C says, that Harry and his band of greedy, exploitative chances and blackmailers are not allowed to hide behind the unwarranted claims of their very presentable and capable Casey Nicholas Bacon, but that they're made to swallow in full the draught of poison they so maliciously prepared for Associated newspapers to swallow. That sickening cabal of claimants, barristers, and solicitors are hoping to avoid being penalised for their egregious and, in my opinion, shockingly disgraceful actions, many of which were on the wrong side of the law and some deserving of imprisonment as they set about fabricating the most outrageous con on Associated newspapers. Now, Lady C, and I've discussed this with her in the past, sets up the fact that actually she's no fan of Associated newspapers. She's no fan of Paul Dacre. She has sued that company in the past. But she says in this case, they have actually been a great example of courage. And she talks about the fact that they have resisted the forces of a malign set of conspirators who wanted to extort millions out of the newspaper company, orchestrate a campaign of vilification that would result in its closure, with the objective of also creating a second Leveson inquiry so that Hugh Grant could thereafter have his cock sucked in California without anyone in Britain knowing about it. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan could play at being victims while bullying people left, right, and centre with Hacked Off and its sidekick Byline Times continuing to foment faux complaints against journalists such as Dan Wootton, whom they had hoped to have locked up for a good 10 or 20 years in either England or Scotland for no other offence than disapproving of the antics of the disgraced Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Mr. Justice Nicklin should give the world the message that English justice is still just, that when a band of chancers, crooks and shysters set about using the legal system to the detriment of the innocent, irrespective of who they are, how famous, celebrated or royally connected, the courts will not play along with their abuses, but they will ensure that they are made to pay in full for their vicious, egregious, cavalier, irresponsible, arrogant, overreaching and contemptuous misconduct. If ever a case called out for the application of indemnity costs, it is this one. I say this as someone who has suffered far more damage to my life at the hands of the British press generally and Associated newspapers in particular than any one of those claimants has suffered. Their behaviour has been a study in the arrogance of the privileged and their expectation that they would somehow always manage to escape the more extreme consequences of their choices. So, Link, you can tell this one's a little bit personal for me, and obviously Lady C invoked me in that post. But unfortunately, Link, I knew how bad these people were because I knew what they did to me. And I was obviously able to expose them and come out the other side. But it's quite astonishing to see Harry know how bad these people are, yet still rely on them. And as a result, I agree with Lady C that there does have to be financial implications, right?
Absolutely. It sort of reminds me of the show we have here called Better Call Saul. I mean, I'm sure you guys have it over
Yeah,
there,
I've
but he's
watched some
basically
of
this
that.
scummy strip mall lawyer, this greasy guy. I'm not shocked this is who Harry and Meghan surround themselves with, and I don't think a lot of other top-notch lawyers would take the case. Number one, you don't know what kind of finances Harry and Meghan have. Are they going to be able to pay their legal fees? That happens a lot of the time in Hollywood where you sign someone and you think you're going to take their case. Oh, they can't actually pay the bills. And I'm happy to see the folks in London and in the courts not kowtowing to them. Nobody should kowtow to these two little hucksters from Montecito. They have no power. They have no importance. She's traipsing around in jean booty shorts, making Instagram videos. She's not even on the Kardashian level at this point. Nobody should fear these two. Okay, Prince Harry is a clown. He is a fool. And I think it's very interesting timing that as soon as he has to pay all of this money, these tens of millions of dollars potentially, he's weaseling his way back in with his father, King Charles. He's warming back up to his father. Harry and Meghan, they want to take the kids to go see King Charles and Queen Camilla at Highgrove. I think it's very, very interesting and textbook that he needs money, but I don't think Prince William will have anything to do with him. I don't think other members of the family want anything to do with him. So King Charles is welcome to have a soft spot for his son. I understand he's the only parent he's got. He's the only game in town at this point. May Princess Diana rest in peace, though they're not letting her rest in peace. They're Instagramming at her gravesite. But I think it's interesting he's running back to Daddy Warbucks with the big checkbook and all the cash right now because they could be close to bankruptcy with their home, with their security bills, with their travel, their lifestyle, trying to keep up with the Joneses. I just don't see money coming in from Meghan Markle's products. I don't see it happening. I don't know anyone who's buying these products except for us who want to try them. So I do think they're going to run back to the Crown and try to ask for money.
While social media missteps create PR headlines, Prince Harry's legal troubles in London pose an immediate financial threat. Reports from journalist Michael Gillard and Tom Sykes reveal that Harry's lawyers were informed as early as March 2022 that key witness Gavin Burrows was withdrawing his cooperation. Yet, the legal team proceeded to trial in 2025. Associated Newspapers is claiming £34.8 million in legal costs. With insurance coverage capped and potential inquiries into underwriting details, Harry and his co-claimants could be personally liable for tens of millions of pounds. Lady Colin Campbell issued a scathing statement calling for maximum indemnity costs against the claimants, describing the suit as an arrogant abuse of the legal process that failed to prove its central allegations. The Sussexes situation stands in stark contrast to senior working royals in the UK. During a recent appearance at the Commonwealth Games, Princess Catherine shared an emotional moment with cycling icon Sir Chris Hoy as he battles stage 4 cancer, earning praise for her grace, authenticity, and public service. With soaring legal fees and security bills in Montecito, commentators suggest Prince Harry may eventually seek to repair ties with King Charles to ease growing financial pressures. Will Prince Harry and Meghan be able to overcome these mounting legal costs and PR setbacks? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want unfiltered royal news and deep dive analysis beyond mainstream headlines, smash that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to like and click the video on screen for more.